So we on?
I have hit the button.
Welcome to the Mead Metal and MMA podcast. I'm Kevin. He's Brandon. We're both sick. And, because that's what happens in a small town when a bunch of people gather under one roof and drink a whole shitload of wine and talk about their week. It was my annual wine and cheese social last weekend that really came together for a great passage of a whole bunch of weird germs.
And then the freezing fog came in. Some of us had to be outside for certain activities. Us evil smokers of the world.
Yeah, that's right.
And the fact I work overnights, that it was the perfect cocktail for a light illness.
So we come together, talk about our main three issues there with Mead, Metal, MMA. We'll start with, we usually do the rundown that way. So that way we know what we're playing with at the MMA part of it, the final segment of the show. So the first thing, Mead, we'd already mentioned we have the Holly King labeled. We did that last week. We talked about that.
Holly King is rolled out.
Yeah, we've already actually had some of our donators already got a bottle. So kudos to them. And thanks to them for helping our efforts here in 2016 as we're moving forward, trying to get some shit done. Other things, we have the Troublemaker batch, which this will be the third run of Troublemaker since we started here over a year and a half ago. I don't know. We haven't pulled a sample, and I don't want to. I kind of want to be
very true. We have not pulled a sample on that yet.
I want it to be a big surprise. I want it to be kind of a check it out, boys.
Damn. See, now I want to pull a sample.
We have the batch one, which when we racked it last week smelled like pure liquor. So that could probably take a little bit of time. But the thing is, we're going to bottle both of those batches before the end of the year because we want to slap a 2016 label on it. And
the this week's picture is actually a plaque that a buddy of ours, Bobby Wheeler, made for batch one, our inaugural batch. Thank you, Bobby. Proper use of cigarette foils, my friend.
Oh, yeah, because that's how he made the Roman numeral one. Right?
I hope I'm not giving out like a secret ingredient for his gumbo, basically.
Trade secrets.
Yeah. Folks, hold on to your cigarette foils. You can use them more than for just little basketball garbage play.
Yeah, if we can just figure out how to get that bastard to stamp on the wall, then we'll be in good shape. But,
well, it's obviously cursed.
We'll fix that. I got some weird eye bolts that I can probably break out.
I have some JB Weld. Bring it over. That fucking thing will not move.
The Mead front's running well. We've got an experimental batch that we've just been letting it go and go and go and go. I don't know when we started that thing. September, October?
Yeah. It has been sitting a small gallon batch for about 2 months.
And we've racked it a bunch because it's down about a quarter. So we've got about 3/4 of a gallon of it. The intention is to still go ahead and get some orange in it. I don't know if I want to put an actual vanilla bean or just use actual vanilla extract. Extract is a lot cleaner. Vanilla bean will break down with that alcohol. But,
right.
Because we got to consider all this stuff because probably we're going to do that batch right off the bat in 2017 at some point. I mean, Brandon.
I think it would be a great spring drink.
Brandon called it the Dreamsicle batch. We're not going to go with that, but
the Orange Cream Dream, I'd like to call it. Thank you, Tenacious D.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. So that's kind of it. I mean, we're up to date.
I'm really looking forward to my owner's bottle of Troublemaker, and cracking open Troublemaker 2.0 for New Year's Eve. Because Kevin, I can't hold on to a bottle of Mead to save my life, and I'd be dead. Kevin Robbins can hold on to a bottle of Mead. I
can rat hole away just about anything. If it's something important, I can keep my hands on it for a while. But we'll, when Brett came down our third and our pretty much our 3-man ownership group of this whole thing, that's when we'd open up the long ship batch from last year. I don't regret it. I mean, I'd already had a number of beers before that, so I don't know if I had the full effect of what I could have probably appreciated out of it. But the Troublemaker 2.0 is what we did May, I think?
Yeah, we started it right at the turn of the year.
Yeah. So I think we probably bottled about April or May. So yeah, we're going to do that on the Ronda Rousey fight card coming up with UFC 207
birthday bash.
That is the birthday bash for Brandon before he goes off to celebrate like a warrior.
Before I go off to Vegas to die,
as so many of our fine sons have done. But
I
anyway,
think 35 is good enough. I think I've beaten the spread.
That's the so that's our update for the meadery this week. So that's all good. Let's move on. The metal portion is going to be a little bit different this time because, well, let's be honest. I was a little bit lazy this past week with the illness and whatnot. I said I was going to do some homework, figure out some new metal. Here's what to do, folks. If you're listening to this, comment. Put the comments on YouTube. Tell us what we need to be listening to. I'll check it out.
Absolutely.
Hell,
Nothing but time.
And but so what I'm doing this week though is going to be a different thing because both of us are into some gaming as well.
Oh, I guess we should. I don't know if they've figured that out by now. But absolutely,
Skyrim's still the front of mind for both of us because frankly we're both trying to get like 100% completion. Well, I'd be happy with about 85. You're looking for 100, but
I'm never going to play the game again. This is it for me.
That's true. I mean, what are you going to do? Reload it again sometime? Go, let's revisit Skyrim. No.
Well, I figure instead of going back and going as a fighter and then going as a, long range type cat than magic user, I'm just going to be all three at once.
Sure.
And it's taken some time. Xbox One records your standby time as gameplay, so there was a time where I thought, oh my god, have I really cracked 500 hours on this game?
I need an intervention.
It's only been out for like a little over a month right now.
See, now I'm at 53, 54 hours, something like that. That's legit, hardcore.
I'd put myself probably about between 270 and 300.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're after it a lot more than I am. I mean, I'm way casual compared to you. So
any asshole can be a father. I want to be a champion.
So yeah, no. I mean, I'm great with the gameplay that I get. I'm not looking to try to find ways to break the game and things like that. But anyway, beyond that. So what the deal is this week for our metal segment? Name a game that has been out. It has to be electronic. Obviously, probably launched within the last 20, 25 years. 25 years would be a little bit rough because that's all MIDI shit. It'd be terrible. But anyway, it was in the last 20 years or so that has a metal track as part of a soundtrack that would be your number one on your list.
Mine is oddly easy. At first I was going to go with the very first Guitar Hero game.
Okay.
But only for maybe the reason that all the songs on there, the main songs are covers of the actual song because they didn't have the money at the time to get the licensing for these songs because they weren't really that popular at the time. It was an $80 game. And back then on PS2, you're paying about a $30 premium for a controller you may never use again.
Right.
But the entire track list, it had Cream on it. It had, the final track was Ozzy, Bark at the Moon. A great cover of it, too. That's what helped it out. They were all great covers. And then in the second one, they were finally able to get a couple licensed tracks, which led to the third one when they were all licensed tracks. Now I'm picking Guitar Hero 3 because it's the first time I got to play a Metallica track on a game that I loved and held very near and dear to my heart, even still this very day. Playing one for the first time on Guitar Hero was amazing.
Okay. Well, so you went into a lot of detail on the one that's not your pick.
Well, I have far more memories with the first one. The third one's really just about playing it and trying to be the very fucking best in the land.
Oh, okay. So you're still going Guitar Hero, though. That's the...
Yeah. I could really say the entire franchise, but if I wanted to step away from just like a straight-up rhythm game, I would have to go with Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
That had the 80s hair 80s, stuff,
yeah. And they had 80s metal, too. They had Judas Priest. They had all the proper 80s metal tracks, except maybe I think Motorhead was on there.
Yeah. Was it the Vice City or was it... I think it was on Vice City.
And it was Ace of Spades. I know that.
I think it was Vice City.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? Rockstar, you need to put that thing out for PS4.
HD remaster, bitches.
Was it scary that I got to know actually the entirety of the two islands really in that whole thing that just I could just hit it wide open and yeah.
It's one of the few GTA games I feel comfortable just going out and roaming and having a good time.
I could probably give somebody directions over a phone of how to get somewhere. All right, mine. You have to go back to DOS. iOS. Well, they didn't call it iOS. DOS OS. The not even like the MS DOS kind of. It was actually a straight DOS game, and it was from LucasArts, and it was Full Throttle. I want to say it came out in '94 or '5, something like that. I could probably Google that right now. But the thing is, the soundtrack for the thing was put on by a band that, well, it was ridiculous because I don't know, they have so many different classifications as every band does now. But this is back in the '90s. They were classified as biker metal, psychedelic rock, hard rock.
Almost sounds like you're describing doom metal currently today.
Pretty much. Yeah, it came out in 1995. The Gone Jackals, that was the band. That was a band that was formed in like 1984. They broke up in 1999. Right about the time they actually got a pretty big contract handed their way. But it was biker metal.
Super cult following even today, I think.
I would probably, if you want to do yourself a favor, if it's dated, it's very dated. But go back and check it out. I think I'm going to subject Brandon to that when we're done with the pod tonight. But it's.
I don't want to play your old grandpa games.
No, not the game. I actually still have it, but it's like five different.
Oh, okay.
Five different floppies and shit. No, I'm talking about actually the Gone Jackal soundtrack, which I don't think they actually have the Full Throttle soundtrack itself online. I think you actually have to go back and kind of pick and play different ones. But for a biker game, it was the perfect soundtrack.
Because it was a floppy game, right?
Mm-hmm. I want to say it was like 4 or 5 3 1/4-inch floppies.
Gosh, it's amazing how they were able to get that music on there.
Yeah, it was 5 because the bigger one was the one that came out also that year. That was the TIE Fighter, the Star Wars TIE Fighter game. That was at like 10, something ridiculous like that.
Jeez.
Yeah. So anyway, appreciate where we're at now. I mean, I can look back fondly. I wouldn't want to be back in those days again, but that was for me. That was a good point of metal, and that'll be our metal segment for this week. Let's
actually, I have one more thing
okay.
I'd like to cover on the video game front since we're here. So I was playing Skyrim today, and this is the first time I've really gotten to go above level 80.
Okay.
On my PS3 playthrough, I
level 50 is the cap, right?
There is no cap.
Well, now, right?
No, I think no. You can level
up.
Why
did I think it was
because you can
50,
you can make your skills legendary and then
right.
level them back up and just make everything 100%, which has always been my dream. So I finally have a character that's been above level 80, and I'm wandering through northern Skyrim, and all of a sudden this dude in full-on ebony armor approaches me. He's like, "I'm done battling in this realm. Meet me here and finish me, because you are the only person worthy to do it."
There you go.
A guy by the name of the Ebony Warrior.
And you didn't have to fill an application or anything.
No, he looked for me. I guess he found my shit on the internet and was like, "This is the guy to shut me down." And at first I was like, "Okay, cool. I'm going to come over there. I'll be there in a little bit. I'll come fucking kill you, take your shit, because I bet you got some good shit if you're just waiting to die because you're so awesome." Of course, I thought I was pretty awesome too.
Sure.
Little I know, this guy has like regeneration of every kind, 50% resistance to every type of attack, every type of elemental attack, and has a type of armor that if you're anywhere near him, you're going to be taking damage. Fucking one of the hardest battles I've ever had in the game.
So you're basically fighting Anderson Silva from 20.
In his prime, yeah, absolutely. So after like 5 times of being killed, I was like, "Fuck this! I'm going to just summon 2 Dremor Lords and go at him with a bow until he perishes." Which thankfully that worked.
Did he pick him up and throw him at you?
Well, thankfully, like my magic regen's at a point where I can just poop him out and keep him the fuck away from me.
Okay.
So after that, I was like, cool. So now I'm going to go back to Solstheim and, fucking traipse around there. Found this skull that belonged to someone named Karstag. And as I was going through Solstheim, I found the ruins of Karstag. Like, oh, 2 and 2 together. Let's go see what this is all about. I find this Cave of Solitude style throne room, just encased in ice, and a huge throne that says "Activate Karstag's throne." I'm going to put the skull on the throne and see what happens.
Okay.
Well, the obvious thing happens. Karstag shows up.
And you get to fight him?
Yes.
There you go.
But Karstag is not your ordinary dude.
There's never any appreciation in this game.
He's about the size of a giant. As soon as he's summoned, a blizzard just shows up. He's like a level 90 creature.
Oh.
And he's a giant, and he just plays with you until he fucking murders you.
Oh. So you got both. This is all on the same day.
Yes. And I'm actually still currently in the process of trying to figure out a way to kill Karstag.
So they're still taking it to the woodshed, proverbial.
The day is not over yet.
All right. So there we go. That's our full run. God, do we have time to talk MMA this week?
Absolutely. Okay. Well, really, the big thing is Anthony Pettis being a fatty.
Well, look, dude was at lightweight, 155, and unlike every fighter like goes on a losing streak, instead of going up a weight class, goes down a weight class. You're like, I'm going down to featherweight, 145. Okay, had one successful fight there, or was it two?
He finished Cowboy Oliveira.
And that was it at 145.
Yeah, that was his debut.
Okay, so then he gets a title fight for an interim fight because they stripped Conor McGregor of the belt. So
it was really a right place, right time kind of thing, thanks to the Cormier Rumble card being
sure,
shut
absolutely, because you got to make something happen for 206. You got to get pay-per-views sold. So then he has to fight Holloway. Well, here's the funny thing about it is, so he comes in 3 pounds overweight. So now the UFC line is, look, if he wins, he will not be the interim champ. I don't know what they do with the interim. I guess they just declared Jose Aldo the end-all, be-all at 145, knowing that he can best most, but he can't best Conor McGregor. That's fine.
That's what has to happen.
So we're kind of actually, contrary to what we usually do, kind of rooting for Anthony Pettis to get the win. So that way it's an empty victory. It's like, hey, congratulations, you won. Oh, guess what? You don't get to be the interim anything.
I mean, I think Max Holloway is due. The guy's won 8, 9 in a row.
9, right?
He's due. It's an interim belt. Again, it's, hey, here's your number one contender placeholder, buddy. Hold on to it. He is due. I just don't know why I want to see Pettis win, because it'll be the most hollow victory in his whole career.
Yeah, no, in a very big way.
All because of the Wheaties box.
Well, yeah. Because the UFC threw its weight behind him with a major product brand with Wheaties, and there's a certain aggravation among fans that, okay, sure, we want to see the UFC represented properly, but they basically picked him out as the end-all, be-all of the promotion, and that didn't settle well with us.
Well, that and RDA came and put a stop to that party real quick.
Oh, that was maybe the most brutal. And by the
way, can you make an Anthony Pettis highlight reel without showing that damn Benson Henderson?
Oh, he has to run off the cage, right?
Yeah. Can you make a highlight reel without that?
You cannot do it. All right. Did he give a reason why he missed weight?
There was a headline, but I didn't take time for it. I didn't care.
I thought about it, but you know what? Fuck that guy.
I don't care why. I really don't. The fact of the matter is, you did.
All right. Let me get your quick. Where are we at on time?
We got about 5 minutes.
Okay. Let's go ahead and get your picks on this. I'll start from top to bottom. We kind of want Anthony Pettis to win just to be a hollow victory, but no, we want Max Holloway to actually win the thing to get. I'd like to see Max Holloway fight Jose Aldo.
That would be a fucking amazing fight.
Let's go down the list. Donald Cerrone, Matt Brown.
Donald Cerrone. Oh, I don't. Do you think he could tap Brown? I think he.
Sure.
I think he puts him to sleep with his hands.
I think it's going to be something. I think it's going to take place on the ground.
Maybe he puts him down with his hands and then makes him go to sleep.
Maybe. I don't know.
But I see it Cerrone. I'm giving Matt Brown, because Matt Brown's a fucking warrior.
Yeah.
Second round finish.
That's probably the right call, man. Probably second or third. I don't.
And I'm going to say second round sub. I don't. And he doesn't tap. He goes to sleep.
Yeah,
and then Matt Brown retires.
Could be. Well, Matt Brown, you got to realize 22 and 15. That's a lot of fights, man. All right.
And he's on like a 3-loss skid, I think.
Cub Swanson and Duho Choi.
Oh, you mean number 9 on the menu at the local Chinese joint.
All right,
and I'm going.
No, actually, but I mean,
that's the man.
Swanson and Choi.
I'm picking Choi. I'm picking Choi by decision.
14-1. Cub Swanson 23-7. Cub Swanson has never looked spectacular to me. Even in his wins, he doesn't win in spectacular fashion. Choi, Yeah, I mean, for 145, and we always say it, if you're kind of middle of the road, you're not going to be packing the same wallop that you're going to have at the top of that division and in other weight classes further up.
Right. Well, he seems to have recovered well after losing to Edgar and Holloway.
Yeah, maybe.
And the Holloway fight was a great fight.
Tim Kennedy and hey, it's Kelvin Gastelum. The guy that can't make weight at welterweight. So now they made him be a middle. They're at middleweight. I don't know. I think a Kelvin Gastelum, and he did make weight today, right?
Yeah.
Just
he actually he didn't even need the extra pound. He came in at 185.
I think that guy will recognize that middleweight's where he needs to be. I think he's going to be dangerous against Tim Kennedy.
Yeah, it's going to be Gastelum's going to win that fight, probably by decision.
And I think at that point, he's got to stop trying to cut that weight down to welterweight.
Realize how good it feels to come in feeling a little bit regular.
Appreciate where you're at. Yes, regular, and we don't even need Jamie Lee Curtis to talk about it. Oh, wait, that's an Activia spot. They're not even paying us.
Hey, you eat that shit for a week. If it don't work, you get your money back.
So our good friend Bobby calls it shit yogurt. All right, and then down the rest of the card, there's virtually nobody I've heard. All right, you got Jordan Maine. I don't know. Emil Meek. Never heard of either one of those guys.
John Lineker fighting in the Fight Pass main event.
Hold on.
No, Mac Dessy.
Olivier Aubin Mercier. Aubin Mercier is fighting Drew Dober. That one might be an interesting fight, only because of the fact, man, I don't know. I thought Aubin Mercier was actually really kind of unstoppable at lightweight, and it turns out he looked like a punk about 2 fights ago, but he kind of rebounded nicely. Drew Dober, I don't know. That guy always looks solid. I don't know.
I think the tall Canadian man is going to continue shredding people and making them tap.
Well, it is in Canada, and that guy doesn't fight outside of the Great White North. So you got Letourneau and Pereira from Brazil. I'm going Canadian on that one again. Letourneau.
Just going to back all the Canadians.
Yeah, Mitch Gagnon over Matthew Lopez. I'm with you. John McDessie over Lando Vanetta. McDessie.
Lando Calrissian Vanda.
The guy looking after Cloud City. Now, here's one I might go against that. Jason Sago is fighting Rustam Habilov at 155.
You know, I think he follows us on Twitter.
Habilov, really?
Yeah, I know Ruslan Magomedov does. And Victor Choi, the CEO of One Fighting Championship, follows us on Twitter.
Yeah, I'll go with the guys that follow
all because I think we called like GSP a cunt or something on our Twitter account.
I would like to point out, if those of you mad, that was probably Brandon.
Hey, okay, if it was between the hours of 11 and 4 a.m., yeah, it was me.
So anyway, it's a reasonable card. It's not a great card.
It's the best card we're going to get.
I mean, if it would have still been Rumble and DC at the top, that would have been I think it's the threshold of a great card. But
oh yeah, I wouldn't be getting too drunk tonight because I'd be saving it for tomorrow.
Sure.
When Rumble raises the bell.
And we got to watch some stuff here in a little bit. Which I mean, by the time this is up, it's already going to be over. But we got to fight tonight, back to back, double barrel.
All I know about this one is Derek Lewis in the main event, and he's probably going to win.
Derek Lewis beats everybody. So, all right, I think that's probably it for us this week.
I think so.
For those of you non-gamers, sorry we went on such a long gaming rant, but maybe
some of you will love it though, and admit it deep down, and you'll be able to sleep better tonight.
Yeah, you know, there's friends. I know Patrick from Halifax. I think listens to our podcast. I know he's definitely into the things, same things we're into. So appreciate everybody that's checking it out. I know. I mean, it's kind of daunting for us once in a while that we do this every Friday. It's like, oh, we've only had like 8 views or something. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, hey, if you're bored, put us on. We're good background noise.
It's going to pick up. And we're going to continue doing it. Shit, I don't care if it's like 0 views.
The Mead Metal MMA podcast, whether you like it or not.
What's in there?